It's March 27th. Accenture Consulting. I'm George A. Croft III. I graduated from Shawnee Mission South, Noble Park, Kansas in 1979 at Kansas Scholar. 96% overall in the ACT, 98% on the ACT in math, 90% plus in the SAT. Mechanical engineering degree at Oklahoma State in 4 straight years. With all of the crap and fraud that went on, about 90% flunked out the first semester. I went to Purdue Krannert Graduate School of Management and graduated in 2 years, 1985. 93% on GMAT. Purdue is ranked simply as good as it gets in the national graduate school rankings for MBA management schools. %on GMAT. Crap and fraud at Purdue from teachers and students. Same thing at Oklahoma State and high school. I'm a Crawford from Kansas City. My dad was a lawyer, Morrison Hecker Law Firm. He asked me to come in and become an investor in Video Corner, which grew into a 4-store movie rental business. 4 stores, 3 in Olathe, 1 in Prairie Village, 20-50 grocery store kiosks. Time I graduated from Purdue in '85, the store was at its peak. Peak sales, 4 stores. The peak of the mom and pop movie rental business. My dad, who asked me to become an investor and owner, who had brainwashed me to own my own business my whole life, started talking to me like an idiot, telling me, well, first he told me don't come back to Kansas City when I was at Purdue. And he was talking about Video Corner and how much money it was making, $1 million a year sales. I think that was the peak sales year, was '85. And at that point in time, Video Corner was owned by 50% my family, controlled by my dad, and another family, this Knodel family, who computer sales sold these little crappy computers. He controlled 50% of their family. They had done most of the work. Their wife, other guy's wife, initial investor, a third each. The third guy sold out, and these 2 families bought them. So it's 50% owned, family by family, and the wives of those 2 other people had worked in the business and made it what it was. As far as running the stores, working in them, and hiring people, and day-to-day operations. I guess Dad did some illegal paperwork, or else he was a fraud, and other lawyers in his law firm did it for him. I don't know. That's why I think he was a fraud. But the other owner, Knodel, wanted to sell out to my so-called dad, and his price was based initially on sales doubling every year into the future, because they had doubled every previous year for the last 2 or 3 years. And I worked in the Prairie Village store, and I said, you know what? Sales are not going to double. Sales are going to be cut in half. There's new competition. There's this place called Sound Warehouse, which is our competition geographically, and their prices are way less than us. We have a $100 club annual, or a fee to join the club or something. We have 1 copy of all the new movies. We ask $4 or $5 a night. Sound Warehouse does not require people to join a club. 0 membership fee. They charge $2 a night, and they have 100 copies of all the new movies. They're going to eat our lunch alive. We can't compete against this crap. And they're a giant record store, public in the public markets, and they've got national chain of stores. Well, he started calling me an idiot, but I guess they somewhat okay. So the Prairie Village store where I was working, helping, but they weren't treating me like an owner. They were treating me like a high school kid, and all high school kids worked there. But they started buying 5 or 10 copies of the new movies, the hits that everybody wanted. And they lowered their prices because I guess they realized, nobody's going to pay $4 or $5 a night when they can go a couple of miles over to Sound Warehouse and get them for $2 a night. and they have a bigger selection and more copies of new movies. So I said, the Olathe stores there's new competition, bigger, better stores. These little crappy stores are not going to double their sales every year. Don't buy it. And I'm not going to work there when you treat me like a fucking idiot. High school, you don't treat me like an owner. You disrespect me. Call me, say I don't know anything because I don't work I don't have a job. Well, some Arthur Anderson guy, accountant, he bought the company eventually. I think the guy was asking $1 million for 50% to my dad, who was ready to hop on it because, you got to take when the steak. You got to hit the steak when it's fire. The rocks are fire. You got to jump on it. Take it. Don't you understand something? Stock owners own the company. I'm an investor. I own the place. Well, he owns the place. He's the chairman, so he owns. You got to do what he says. He's the chairman. All this shit. This idiot kept back and forth. You don't own the place. The chairman owns the place. Idiot. He says that about other companies, banks, whatever. But anyway, this Arthur Anderson guy bought it. Maybe he put $20,000 down. Dad was willing to pay $1 million up front. Maybe the guy was going to pay $100,000 or $200,000 total. Put $20,000 down payment. He went bankrupt within a year, just like I said, he'd go bankrupt. And Dad called me an idiot because I don't know anything because I'm not employed in a company anywhere, in a real job or something. Well, the Arthur Anderson CPA, he went bankrupt, just like I said. So Accenture, pay me $1 billion a month to be the chairman. I think I've seen a former Purdue Cranard alumni was the chairman of Accenture at one point in time. Hedge funds pay $5 billion a year. The top hedge fund, $4 or $5 billion a year. We'll just all acknowledge I'm better than the top. So I'm $1 billion a month. Pay me $1 billion a month to be the chairman, or just the $1 billion a month paycheck man. He don't need a job title. He just wants $1 billion a month, and he deserves it. He's proven he's right all his life. He's been right. He doesn't have the top grade point because he's too smart for that. With all the crap and fraud, he's not an idiot. He doesn't kill himself to get a meaningless grade point with all the crap and fraud that went on. He's too honest and truthful and right. He doesn't commit crap and fraud like the idiots who get 4.0s. Very few of these idiots have legitimate, real, they earned it, perfect, no fraud, crap, 4.0. I mean, most idiots with 4.0s and other degrees couldn't compare to the first semester of engineering at Oklahoma State or get into Purdue Cranard. It had to be what Purdue Cranard could never pass engineering at Oklahoma State, and some of them were committing fraud, crap, whatever, blindside. Accenture, pay me $1 billion a month to be the chairman. Because I'm right. I've always been right. I'm 61, born in 61. After Video Corner, all the stockbrokers in Kansas City start throwing me in jail for trespassing under fiction. And this Wilbur finance professor at Purdue said, if you go back to Kansas City, you'll get arrested if you go into a stockbroker office. Well, that reinforced that guy was an idiot, had no credibility. There were 4 or 5 of them, in fact, who looked like each other, who taught under the same name. And I don't know if they were collaborating with each other or killing each other off. Teaching the efficient market theory that you can't make money in the stock market. Purpose of the company is to maximize stock owner value. That they're teaching us useful information, which in the second year, it's not just a certificate. They're teaching us useful information. And then in the second year, the same person, the person claiming to have the same name, Wilbur Duell, and the same name, was saying, you can't do what we're teaching you. And he said to me in class, you will be arrested if you go into a stockbroker office in Kansas City. And he just reinforced the whole thing with a bunch of crap. And I will say yes, that some of the information was useful information that I did apply with Video Corner, and I was right. Some of the theory is logical in some ways, but in reality it's bullshit. Maximizing stock owner value. Well, maybe if you want to talk balance sheet management, if you want to talk about maximizing revenue, minimizing expense, come on. You want to talk about balance sheet management those equations, stuff, fine. I maximize stock owner of this. Hedge fund's paycheck is made minimum wage for me, $5 billion a year. I'm better than that, so I'm $1 billion a month. $12 billion a year. Accenture, show some respect. My brother worked at Arthur Andersen before it went over with Enron. In fact, he worked in Houston. He's a CPA. I know what I know. I'm from my family business, from my parents, all the gossip, experience in real life versus theory. You're no different than everybody else. You're no different than everybody else. Well, you got to flunk out of kindergarten and get paid that much? You got to flunk out of kindergarten and get a hedge fund license while I'm being disrespected for my own hedge fund license? I mean, who are the fucking hedge fund managers, everything about them in this country, who are getting that $5 billion, $1 billion a year hedge fund paycheck? Who the hell are they? What's their ACT percent? And who are the people that grant them licenses? Now I'm in Kansas. I mean, is Kansas just a backward-ass state like I've been told my whole life? And I believe it is. I know it is. Where they fuck people over who are better than them, like me. They killed my real dad, and some idiot stooge who looked like him stole his identity, as the idiot said, his last 20 or 30 years after Video Corner, telling me he was not really my natural father, and there's a bunch of people who look like each other who kill people, and they look like my dad. Nobody around here cares or does anything because they don't care. So what are you going to do about it? I believe that. People in the courthouse, DA, they don't care. They don't want their superiors. They want to eliminate them any way they can, including killing them, murdering them, stealing their identities with stooges who are idiots and do what they say. I'm not an idiot or a stooge. You know what? I'm the best there ever was. We all know that. Well, I'm not wrong. I'm right. So Accenture, sign a contract, pay me $1 billion a year, give me $1 billion signing bonus to make sure I get paid. Let's advertise it on the Wall Street Journal, CNBC, everywhere. Yep. He's going to be the highest paid man in America, period.